Hi, I'm Greg from Second Thoughts East Yorkshire. Do you ever feel really overwhelmed because you have so much to do, so many things to do? Living life with anxiety issues is difficult for people, and it's even worse now because of worries about the virus, about the health and well-being of our families and friends, about our income levels, and many other things happening around the world right now. Often just the thought of taking on a goal is enough to make you feel despondent, and possibly even feel like you just want to either run away or stay in bed all day. A good way to deal with this problem is to use a technique called the SMART approach. SMART is an acronym, that is, with each letter in the word SMART standing for a word beginning with that letter. So the S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for achievable, R is for relevant, and T is for time constrained. I'll pop this up as a plan at the end of the video. It's a slide, so you'll be able to look at it in more detail then. I'll give you an example of how this SMART plan works. Your goal is that your living room at home needs redecorating, and you feel absolutely overwhelmed at the thought because there's so much work involved. If you break the overall goal down into small parts, it makes the whole thing much more doable. So instead of decorating the room as a big task, it becomes a list of smaller tasks, lesser tasks, including, firstly, rubbing down the gloss paintwork on the doors. Secondly, rubbing down the gloss paintwork on the skirting boards. Third, wash down the gloss paintwork to remove all the dust and particles ready for repainting. 4. Emulsion the ceiling. 5. Emulsion the walls. 6. Gloss the skirting boards. And 7. Gloss the doors. So each of those tasks is very specific. Each is measurable because they have a definite aim, and each is achievable as a separate task in its own right. Each element is relevant because they all combine to make the overall task of decorating the room. And each can be time constrained because you can set the time allowed for each of those tasks, and that could be one task a day, one task a week, or even one task a month if you prefer it that way. Do you see how any goal can become less daunting if you tackle it that way? For goals that are practical, it's relatively easy to prepare a SMART plan because the things are easily identifiable, all the elements are easy to put down. But for some of our more personal goals, it can be a little less obvious. Let me give you an example. Suppose that you're addicted to watching the news. So your goal is to stop watching the news all day because you found it lowers your mood and makes you feel even more anxious and depressed. There's very little upbeat news, is there, nowadays? Instead of going from watching and listening to every news bulletin there is during the day, start reducing it systematically. So for the first 5 days, just watch the news at 1 PM and at 6 PM, depending on the channel you prefer, of course, but avoid watching or listening to it at any other time during the day. For the following 5 days, just watch it at 6 PM. So avoid watching or listening to it any other time during the day. Following the first 10 days, start to watch it every other day. Honestly, it does get easier the more you go on as you phase your way into it. So make your goal of addressing your news addiction SMART. Remember SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time constrained. The same method can be applied to any goal you have, just make sure that the elements are realistic. You need to make sure that you'll be able to achieve it, so don't set yourself a massive goal that's unattainable. You can also build a reward system into the approach too. So with the news addiction approach, for example, with your SMART plan for that, when you get to the end of the first 5 days, treat yourself to something. Doesn't need to be massive or expensive. It could be a bag of sweets, it could be a bunch of flowers, or maybe even a walk in the park with a partner or family member or friend. Have a look at the SMART plan, which is coming up as a slide in a few seconds. Then try it. I'm sure it will help you to break those big goals down into achievable chunks. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it helps you to manage a little easier. Please leave a comment and feel free to message me for more support or information. Second Thoughts East Yorkshire is a UK registered charity, and all of the support we give to individuals is free of charge. I'll be back with more videos soon. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, be kind to yourself and to others, and good mental health. Bye for now.